had his back through everything. When she kicked him out, he came crying to me. When he had nowhere to go at, when you had nowhere to go at, you came home to me. And you would have knocked both of them, and you asked me to have them. Not once, but twice.
We're sitting in the car right now, and my friend is videotaping him and talking to him. And as you can see on the right, there is like this cloudy thing that comes out of nowhere. And my son looks at it, and then it goes away.
Do you believe you are Genesis' biological father?
No, I do not.
Oh, you do not believe?
The time that Genesis was conceived, Your Honor, Miss Lever was involved with another individual that I saw with my eyes personally.
Jerome greets Judge Lake and introduces the case of Ramos Veers Edwards. He provides a brief overview, setting the stage for the day's proceedings. The courtroom atmosphere is formal and anticipatory, but Jerome manages to throw in his usual charm, making everyone crack a small smile despite the serious vibes.
Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Ramos versus Edwards.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Ramos, you are in court to prove that your ex-fiancé, Mr. Edwards, fathered your 1-month-old son, Xavier.
Ms. Ramos explains why she is in court, to prove that Mr. Edwards is the father of her 1-month-old son, Xavier. She details how Mr. Edwards' infidelities came to light after she announced her pregnancy, explaining it with a hint of drama, as if she's narrating a soap opera. The tension in her voice suggests the emotional strain of the situation, yet she manages to add a sarcastic quip about Mr. Edwards' sudden popularity among the ladies.
You claim that after sharing your news, you were pregnant with his baby, women he was secretly cheating with started coming out of the woodwork trying to convince him he's not the dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Edwards expresses his doubts about being Xavier's father, citing changes in the due date and suggesting Ms. Ramos' infidelity. He brings up a bombshell witness he has brought to support his case, teasing the courtroom like he's about to unveil a surprise guest on a game show. The atmosphere in the courtroom grows tense with these allegations, yet Mr. Edwards' dramatic flair adds an almost theatrical element to the proceedings.
You say there's no way you are the father and claim the plaintiff changed up her due date to cover up her own infidelities. You say you brought a bombshell witness who will reveal the truth and seal your case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ramos, you say you're fed up with his drama. Tell me why.
I am fed up with his lies, his manipulation. He does this to other people, and not the only one. How can you deny such a beautiful baby?
Judge Lake probes deeper into the nature of Ms. Ramos and Mr. Edwards' relationship. Their past engagement and history are discussed, revealing complexities in their relationship before and after the pregnancy. The conversation highlights their troubled interactions and mistrust, yet both parties occasionally throw in humorous jabs that lighten the mood ever so slightly.
I seen them again last year. At first, I was kind of hesitant, but you know, like in my mind, I'm the type that's like, gives the people a benefit of doubt that they change after a while. And I gave him that benefit of the doubt. But then that's when he started doing the cheating from the whole time. And you know, yes, you know, I did have sex with an ex of mine, but that was after the fact. Me and him wasn't even actually in a relationship. Like,
wait a minute. Like, you all are in a relationship.
It was really not that serious in the beginning.
As more details emerge about Ms. Ramos' actions during her pregnancy, Mr. Edwards explains why he suspects she was unfaithful. He refers to multiple instances of her infidelity, which he believes led to his doubts about paternity. The discussion becomes heated and contentious, but Mr. Edwards can't help but compare the drama to a bad reality TV show.
In this courtroom, that sounds like family.
Right.
Because families do that.
Right.
So now, family or not, it's still another potential father. At least in his mind, you believe that there's a doubt.
There was a triangle. She slept with 2 people
at the beginning. I wasn't, first of all, the person I was in a relationship with, I was living there, but he wasn't living there with me.
Okay, so Ms. Ramos, listen, I will give you a chance to refute the testimony, but you've got to at least let them testify.
Ms. Ramos presents photos of Mr. Edwards at the hospital, which show him appearing happy and involved during Xavier's birth. The judge notes the contradiction between his joyful appearance and his paternity doubts. The photos serve as emotional evidence, complicating Mr. Edwards' claims, and Judge Lake can't resist commenting on Mr. Edwards' photogenic smile amidst the chaos.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Let me look at this evidence first. You've presented the court with pictures.
Yes, I have.
Beautiful pictures of it looks like a couple just welcomed their baby into the world.
Exactly. Look at that.
Mr. Edwards, you look pretty happy.
He looks just like him. That's what hurt.
Jerome, I want you to give Mr. Edwards a close-up look at this picture. Matter of fact, send him this one too. Mr. Edwards, I'm looking at these pictures presented to the court.
Sure.
A witness, Ms. Vaughn, is brought in to testify about the rumors and circumstances surrounding Xavier's conception and birth timing. Her testimony adds another layer of doubt and complexity to the case, intensifying the courtroom drama. Ms. Vaughn's dramatic entrance and gossipy tone feel like she's more ready for a reality show than a court proceeding.
Please escort her into the courtroom.
She's only been here since around February. She's a nobody. So
to the witness stand next to the judge.
Because you're sleeping with her too.
Ms. Vaughn, thank you for joining us today. We are here discussing the paternity of baby Xavier. What do you have to add to this?
When he said she was pregnant, it was already a rumor going around that she was pregnant before they started talking by somebody else.
Disagree.
Everybody knew about it.
Well, that's because everybody's always making up lies because nobody likes me.
The climax of the episode occurs as Judge Lake reads the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Edward, you are the father.
Thank you. I want you to apologize to our son. I want you to apologize to him because I told you since day one.
The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as the case of Chmielewski versus Brown Long 3 kicks off, announced by the court clerk with a flair for the dramatic. Ms. Chmielewski asserts she had a loving 5-year roller coaster of a romance with the defendant's late son Georgie and now needs the grandparents to acknowledge her son Xavier as their kin. You won't believe what comes next in this family saga.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Chmielewski versus Brown Long III.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Chmielewski, you say you had a 5-year relationship with the defendant's son, Georgie, who unfortunately died in a motorcycle accident. You claim the defendants initially accepted your son, Xavier, but now need proof that they are Xavier's grandparents.
Judge Lake dives right into the drama, turning to the defendants with a skeptical eyebrow raised. Mrs. Brown and Mr. Long counter with strong denials, claiming total ignorance of Ms. Chmielewski and labeling her story as a complete fabrication. Strap in. The plot thickens as accusations fly.
Mrs. Brown and Mr. Long, you say you don't know Ms. Chmielewski and claim your son was never in a relationship with her. He has made up a fairy tale love affair with Georgie and he is not Xavier's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Chmielewski, what is riding on today's results for you and your son?
My son needs his family. He calls her Nana, and she's been in his life. We need answers. He has nobody.
Amid sniffles and heart-wrenching sobs, Ms. Chmielewski recounts the tragic day she found out about Georgie's motorcycle accident through her sister, after he ghosted her calls, literally. The raw emotion she displays sets a somber tone, but hold tight, because the family secrets are just starting to unravel.
For 5 years?
Yeah.
So
I've
how
known
did
Georgie
you
for
find
5
out
years.
he
Was him
passed
having a
away?
girlfriend? He had a girlfriend. I know his
Yeah,
girlfriend.
no matter who we were with, still had sexual relations.
Who told you he passed away?
My sister, I just kept calling his phone and he wasn't answering.
Now, at that point that you found out that he passed, did you call his parents or you felt like you didn't know
I didn't
them?
have their
I don't
numbers.
know her. I didn't know her.
In a twist you didn't see coming, Mrs. Brown steps up to claim she was the first to reach out post-tragedy, trying to piece together the mysterious connections. This revelation shakes up the narrative and raises the stakes. Watch out for what's thrown into the mix next.
At what point did you finally decide I need to reach out to his parents because
She didn't. I reached
they
out
may
to
be
her.
his Oh.
You reached out.
I reached out to her. Okay, my son is not here. I'm picking up where he left off.
Take your time. I know it's hard. Go ahead.
The courtroom gets heated as Ms. Chmielewski insists that little Xavier is the spitting image of Georgie, which Mrs. Brown vehemently disputes, stirring the pot with claims about the child's distinct biracial features. This family feud is getting spicier by the minute.
What had happened was she says that this baby's Georgie's. 2 years passed. Only reason why I pursued this is because a friend of Georgie's, very close friend, told him, you need to find out if this baby is Georgie. So it's other people in the neighborhood must be saying something because he came to me after 2 years. He brought this to my attention. It went over my head.
You told me that he looks like all your other grandkids.
Ms. Chmielewski explains the delicate dance of a relationship Georgie had with Xavier, marked by hesitation and rare visits, due to his uncertainty about fatherhood. It's a tangled web of emotions and doubts, but just wait until you hear what's revealed next.
Did Georgie accept Xavier? Did they have a relationship?
He saw him a couple times, took pictures together, and
5-year relationship, you only saw him a couple times?
no, with the baby.
Why did he only see the baby a couple times when he was almost
Because
a year old?
he wasn't positive if it was his or not. So he didn't want to get too close. He just wanted to know if the baby
When did you
was
tell
his.
Georgie? When did you tell Georgie you had a baby?
The plot thickens as we learn both potential dads of Xavier are deceased, complicating the paternity puzzle even further. Ms. Chmielewski's efforts to connect with the other potential father's family hit a brick wall, setting the stage for more courtroom drama. Grab your popcorn. This emotional roller coaster isn't slowing down.
So it's one other, you saying?
Yeah, it's him and the other
one
guy.
other man. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever tell the other guy?
He had passed away when I was 5 months pregnant.
Oh.
He had got murdered. Family member of mine had contacted his family. They did not respond until Xavier turned 2, and they said if I come up with the money, then they'll do the test.
So both potential fathers of this beautiful little boy had passed away?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tensions escalate as the debate over whether Xavier should call Mrs. Brown Nana unfolds, touching on the deep emotional implications and the grandmother's cautious approach to the unconfirmed paternity. The next part of this saga will have you on the edge of your seat.
My book
Shimolinsky,
needs
when
to be
you
closed.
talk to Xavier about his father, he's 2 now. Do you talk to him about his father? Who do you tell him his father is?
I tell him Georgie's.
See, that's the problem.
What do you
that's
tell
the
him?
problem.
That he watches his videos and I say, that's
And he points to the videos and says, Daddy.
He calls him daddy.
because
He calls him
either
daddy.
way, Georgie told me no matter what the results were when he was alive, that he was going to be in his life. Yes,
Georgie couldn't even take care of himself.
I know, I understand that.
Enter the supernatural. Ms. Chmielinsky presents a video allegedly capturing Georgie's spirit, which she believes watches over Xavier. Skepticism abounds as Mrs. Brown and others suspect it's just a smoky trick of the light. The courtroom turns into a Ghost Hunters episode, and you won't want to miss what happens when they slow down the footage.
So you say this is a video of your son, Xavier, and in the video you can see Georgie's spirit.
I said it looks like a spirit.
Okay, talk me through this video.
We're sitting in the car right now and my friend is videotaping him and talking to him, and as you can see on the right, there is like this cloudy thing that comes out of nowhere, and my son looks at it and then it goes away.
Let me see that again, please. This is slow motion, a white cloud right there.
The moment of truth arrives with heart-pounding intensity as Judge Lake delivers the DNA test results.
It has been determined by this court. The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Brown and Mr. Long and Xavier Chmielinsky is 0%.
The courtroom drama kicks off with a touch of formality as everyone gets settled. The judge initiates the proceedings with a call to be seated, and the stage is set for the case of Brown versus Lever. Mr. Brown confidently steps up, asserting his belief that he is the biological father of Jira Lever, despite Ms. Lever's adamant denial. The atmosphere thickens with tension, promising an unfolding saga of family drama.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Brown versus Lever.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Mr. Brown, you say you have always believed you were the biological father of the defendant's daughter, Jira Lever. You have loved her and taken care of her, but now the defendant is denying you are Jira's dad. You are hoping today's results prove your case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown wastes no time pouring his heart out, emphasizing his deep emotional and physical commitment to Jira, whom he believes to be his daughter. He passionately recounts his fatherly duties, from feeding to doctor's appointments, painting a vivid picture of his dedication. The emotional stakes are sky high, and Mr. Brown's conviction only adds more fuel to the fiery debate.
Why are you so sure you are Jira's father?
Your Honor, I know that I'm Jira's father. I mean, from the very beginning. That's my heart. She's attached to my hip. I've been taking care of her since day one. Fed her, bathed her, clothed her, taking her to our doctor's appointments. When Mom couldn't be there, I was there. And although I know for a fact that Jira is my daughter, she looks like all of my children.
Just when you think it couldn't get more intense, Ms. Lever throws a curveball. She firmly states that Mr. Brown was not present during the critical period of Jira's conception, having been replaced temporarily by her ex. As the accusations fly, the courtroom becomes a battleground of words, with each party clinging to their version of the truth. The plot thickens, and the audience is on the edge of their seats.
He is not biologically her father. During the time that she was conceived, he wasn't really even around. I had been with my ex. I just know.
So
that he's
did
not-
you allow him to believe he was her biological father?
No. I always told Mr. Brown that he was not her father.
Did she always tell you that, Mr. Brown?
Not in the beginning, Your Honor.
That's not
What
true.
did she say in the beginning?
In the beginning, there was really no conversation as far as the paternity of Jira.
The story takes a twist when a mutual friend drops a bomb at a football game, suggesting Mr. Brown might not be the father after all. Despite this shocking revelation, Mr. Brown remains unwavering, detailing the inseparability between him and Ms. Lever during his time at home. The narrative weaves through doubts and certainty, with Mr. Brown defending his position as a true partner and potential father. The drama escalates, setting the stage for even more revelations.
They also told me that there was a possibility that I might not be the father. Although I had heard this afterwards from other people, there was no doubt in my mind that Jira was my daughter. She mentioned that I had been away. I do environmental work. And so I'm gone maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and then I'm home for a week. But during the time that I'm home, Ms. Lever and I were inseparable. You know, we did everything together. Even if it was just a 5-minute grocery store trip, we were together.
In a dramatic turn of events, Ms. Lever steps up to a visual exhibit to lay down the timeline of Jira's conception. She recounts a period of emotional vulnerability shared with her ex, leading leading to a rekindled romance amidst family crisis. The courtroom resonates with her story of complex emotional entanglements and the implications of their brief reunion. The air is thick with anticipation as the story unfolds further.
Okay, so during the time that Jaira was conceived, I was dealing with a family crisis. Also, my ex was also dealing with the same crisis. During that time, we bonded and we kind of rekindled things, and that's the time in which Jaira was conceived.
April 2011, you were dealing with a sick family member.
Yes, ma'am.
The next part of this exhibit says July 2011, what was going on?
My ex and I, we were intimate at the hospital during that time.
Amidst the turmoil, Mr. Brown recounts a vivid July 4th memory where intimacy rekindled with Ms. Lever at their home, directly contradicting her account. He describes a spontaneous romantic encounter that he insists aligns with the conception timeline. The courtroom chuckles and gasps at the vivid details, wondering where the truth really lies as the saga continues.
Miss Lever and I also were intimate July 4th in our home by the back door.
Oh my
as
God.
we were outside. It's 4th of July. My children, our children, went down the street where my niece lives to pop fireworks with my nieces and nephews. Miss Lever and I were sitting out on the back. One thing led to another. We ended up on the inside of the house by the back door on the floor. This was July 4th of 2011.
The debate heats up over Jaira's last name, with Mr. Brown insisting it includes Brown, his surname, while Ms. Lever refutes this claim. The judge intervenes, examining the birth certificate only to confirm Ms. Lever's statement. No Brown in sight. The plot twist adds another layer of complexity to the case, promising more jaw-dropping moments just around the corner.
Like, this is my ex, you know? And when I end up getting pregnant, I felt like it was my right to tell him so that he can move forward. But
So you felt like you were just trying to be honest and say, this really isn't your child.
Yes.
And you felt like you and your ex had prior history, and it was not fair of you to make Mr. Brown believe Jaira was his biological child.
Amidst the heated discussions about Jaira, another child, Genesis, enters the fray. Her paternity also in question. The couple's tumultuous relationship takes center stage, revealing a mosaic of love, betrayal, and parental responsibility. Their spirited exchange reveals deep-seated issues and unresolved tensions, paving the way for an explosive revelation of the DNA results.
You have a second child who's in question.
yeah.
Genesis.
Yes, ma'am. Can I say something?
Even when we broke up, Your Honor, we were still intimate. When she first got her car, she bought a brand new Camaro. She came and picked me up, and we broke the Camaro in, so to speak.
Oh my God.
Mr. Brown, do you believe you are Genesis' biological father?
No, I do not.
Oh, you do not believe?
At the time that Genesis was conceived, Your Honor, Miss Lever was involved with another individual that I saw with my eyes personally.
In a moment of high drama, the DNA results for Genesis are revealed.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are not the father.
The courtroom buzz begins as the judge cheerfully tells everyone they can sit down. Jerome introduces the spicy case of Lewis, Hornegay versus Pippin, with his usual flair. Everyone exchanges hellos, setting the stage for the drama that's about to unfold. Talk about a sizzling start.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Lewis, you say you're here to demand the defendant finally take responsibility because though he denies it, he is indeed the biological father of both your children.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Lewis steps up with fire in her eyes, ready to lay down the law on Mr. Pippin, who she claims is dodging daddy duties for their kids. Mr. Pippin, on the other hand, is all cool confidence, armed with what he claims is rock-solid proof that he's not the father. Buckle up, because this roller coaster is just leaving the station.
You argue there's no way you're the father of her kids and claim you have undeniable proof on your side. Furthermore, you and your girlfriend, Miss Sanders, say today's DNA results clear your name once and for all.
The judge digs right in, asking Mr. Pippin why he's so sure these aren't his kids. Mr. Pippin doesn't hold back, labeling Miss Lewis a cheater and a liar. Miss Lewis fires back with a passionate tale of their rocky romance, making it clear she's been his ride or die since day one. The tea is piping hot, folks.
Because she's a liar, she's a cheater, and I have proof.
Your
I'm
Honor,
not the father.
I was with this man since I was young. I had his back through everything. When she kicked him out, he came crying to me. When he had nowhere to go at, when you had nowhere to go at, you came home to me. And you would have knocked both of them, and you asked me to have them.
Miss Lewis recounts their saga, starting from when they first crossed paths thanks to his mom's job as a bus driver. Fast forward through secret meetups and shared secrets while Mr. Pippin was supposedly with Miss Sanders. It's a classic love triangle with a side of sneaky rendezvous. Keep your popcorn handy. This plot is thickening by the minute.
One day he came home from the group home, and he was riding the bus with her. I was about 15, 16. Fast forward, 2009. Me and Mr. Pippen got closer. He was dating Miss Sanders, but she doesn't know this. That's when she had a little red truck. He came to my house. I was home by myself. We had sex the very first time in 2009.
Time out for a laughter break as the judge calls for a translation of the convoluted love story that's unfolding. Miss Lewis confirms their on-again, off-again shenanigans, proving that their relationship timeline is more tangled than a season of soap operas. Stay tuned, because the twists just keep coming.
You and him were on and off again.
Yes, Sean.
Throughout that time, he was also supposed to be with Miss Sanders in a committed, serious relationship. Y'all were close.
Yes,
so
Sean.
close that you would let him take your braids out.
Yes, Sean.
Got it.
Mr. Pippen spills the beans about their unprotected trysts, but insists the pregnancy timeline doesn't match his guest appearances. He's ready with evidence, and boy, does he think it'll clear his name? Fasten your seatbelts. We're diving into the evidence locker next.
You admit you were in a sexual relationship with Miss Lewis,
Yes, ma'am.
not using protection.
Right.
Do you have doubts about Quayshawn if you admit you were in a sexual relationship with her during the time of conception?
Because the time around when she got pregnant, I was in Greenville at the time when she got pregnant.
Oh,
I
so
was
you're
staying-
saying it's a timing issue.
Yes, ma'am. I was staying in Tarboro at the time with Miss Sanders.
Miss Lewis isn't having any of it, arguing with soul-stirring emotion that Mr. Pippen was very much around when conception could have happened. She paints a picture of a man who's there one day and gone the next, leaving everyone in the courtroom reaching for tissues. Don't go anywhere. The emotional roller coaster is just hitting its stride.
Your child, Quayshawn, was conceived May 25th, around that area. It is your contention, Mr. Pippen, Miss Sanders, that Mr. Pippen wasn't even
He
around?
wasn't, because he was living with me in Tarboro. I had to take him to work.
Just because you said you wanted me, he won't come home to me.
When we were going back and forth, he hadn't been to Greenville because of his work schedule and my work schedule.
As we wade deeper into the drama, allegations fly about Mr. Pippen possibly rigging the DNA test. With a nurse in the family, Miss Lewis's camp suggests some sneaky bathroom breaks might have been more about DNA deception than nature's call. What will the judge make of all this? The next reveal is a doozy.
Why is it you doubt that you are her child's
Because I
biological
seen her with
father?
her ex-boyfriend. around
Your
about
Honor,
that
when he
time.
saw me,
Okay, now we're getting
And then
somewhere.
I tried to call her phone. She didn't want to answer her phone. By the time I got there, she was back to the house.
Your Honor, the night he claimed me he saw me with his boyfriend was in December of 2011. I wasn't even pregnant yet. It was still in the grain.
So now Quayshawn is 2 years old. 2. And all this nonsense is going on. 2 years old.
Hold on to your hats as the DNA results are revealed. And guess what?
Determined by this court, Mr. Pippen, you are his father.
I told you.
Gotta do. That's what I wanted to know the whole